Hello, everyone. So good to see you again. So many of you. So welcome to the solar eclipse, full moon healing circle today. And this was a last minute thing that I decided to do due to my own interesting experience with what's going on in the solar eclipse and the full moon energy. And so I wanted to share the lessons that I've learned in the last couple of weeks that are leading up to this eclipse and what it means for us and what's happening in the next 2 weeks as we go into this season of this eclipse season that then culminates with the April 8th solar eclipse. So this is a really powerful and incredible time for all of us, but it brings up a lot of shit. Okay. How many of you are feeling some of this energy? Feeling any of this crazy energy that's going on right now? Have anybody been seeing any kind of anything interesting or like deep stuff going on in their lives? Yeah. So there is a really interesting energy that's going on. And I love that I'm seeing in here, we've got people visiting from Finland. And I know I got somebody from Mexico, the Netherlands. Oh, this is lovely. So good to see all of you. And so I wanted to share because I went through a massive, massive transformation and healing. I just returned from Bali a couple of days ago. And I'm finally feeling like I'm back on track. But in the time that I was gone, there were some really, let me just say, really crappy stuff that went down. And I, for the first time in a really long time, was able to find and heal a core wound that I've been working on for my whole life. That I've chipped away at, I've pulled away at, I've gotten pieces of it, I've gotten better. But it was something that was so deep that it turned out, I actually had an Akashic Records reading done. And it turned out that this core wound has followed me for 75 lifetimes and is over 5,000 years old if you put it in chronological order in the time frame of how we experience linear time. And I know that that sounds like, oh, is that for real? Well, I had the Akashic Records healing. And then I had a draconian astrology chart reading, which your draconian chart is your soul chart. So your astrology chart for your regular astrology chart is the astrology of your birthplace. But at this time, your draconian is literally what your soul, and where if you in this lifetime move towards your soul's purpose and your path, you will become more like your draconian chart. And in my draconian chart also, this exact karmic issue and wound showed up for me. And so I found it fascinating that 2 readings, 5 days apart, from totally different systems and ways of doing things, said the exact same thing and allowed me to heal something. So it is absolutely connected to the eclipse season. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about what happened and what was going on, because I love to share all of my stuff, to be vulnerable with you guys. And I don't hide. But this eclipse season is here to teach us that we have the potential to be both sides of the coin, right? To be the healed or the unhealed, to see the shadow or the not. So we are in a lunar eclipse in Libra. So the moon is the full moon in Libra. And it is uncovering something that's been hidden in the shadows. So the eclipse, all right, eclipse is about what's hiding, what's not being seen, what's underneath. And the eclipse prompts us to confront what's unearthed and Libra, rebalance the scales of justice. So this is the second lunar eclipse in Libra in 6 months. And this moment acts as the second chapter of a larger story that began back in October of 2023. So I want you to all take a moment and think to yourselves, what were you doing, or what was going on, or what pattern or thing were you working through in October of last year? For me, in October of last year, I was in Europe for 3 weeks. This time I was in Bali for 3 weeks. And the same exact pattern showed up in October. And in October, my partner and I, because this pattern has to do with my partner and I'll share a little bit more about what that means, because it's all about Libra is about relationships. So this is showing about karmic experiences in relationships. My partner and I back in October had this huge blow up in this fight. It was our first big fight. We just got together after 20 years of being apart over the summer. And I left for 3 weeks and we had this huge explosion. And it wasn't pretty. And we came back and we did relationship coaching and courses and everything and like worked on healing our stuff. And, kind of thought things were going really well. And then, yay, new eclipse, new full moon. And here we are again. And the pattern showed back up when I was gone a second time. We obviously don't do well apart from each other for weeks at a time. And I had been gone this time, not just 3 weeks, but I'd been gone also for 2 weeks in Chile prior to that. And it showed up again, but it was showing up because it needs to be healed in this lifetime. So in my book, High on Life, A Prescription for Bliss, I talk about harmonic points. And a harmonic point is a repeating pattern that shows up in your life over and over again that needs to be healed. And until you heal it, the players, the events, the things around you will be different. How many of you have been in the same relationship with 5 different people or have had the same money challenges 5 times over or have had, the same health issues show up again and again and again when you think that it's got right, that the harmonic point, the pattern, because it's coming to be healed. Well, that's harmonic point is for this lifetime. But karma, your karmic experience is over lifetimes, is the thing that came in this life. And so for me, in this lifetime, I came in to heal this because literally Isis actually came into my Akashic Records reading. I've been channeling Isis and Mother Mary, part of what I'm doing for the mystery school. And she came in and said, if you are going to lead the way that you're meant to lead and do the work that you're meant to do in this world, you must heal this and heal this now, because you cannot be the leader that you're meant to be and have this experience. Oh, what? I didn't mean to do that. Following you around. So, Carl Jung says to confront a person with his shadow is to show him his own light. Once one has experienced a few times what it is like to stand judgingly between the opposites, one begins to understand what is meant by self. Anyone who perceives his shadow and his light simultaneously sees himself from 2 sides and thus gets in the middle. And that is what we're here to do. So I'd love to see if anybody in the chat, anybody say, did they know what was going on in their lives in October? So I'm curious. So if you want to share what might have been going on in your life in October, that might be showing up again for you right now, right? Because this eclipse season, which it's tied to in October 2023, it's the next chapter. It's here to remind us that no one can do this inner work for us, that we can't buy our way into self-awareness and certainly not into liberation. That once we engage with our shadows, once we recognize them and refuse to project them onto an imagined persecutor or externalized villain, we can more easily interrupt how they show up systematically. So I hope and pray that enough of us have learned just how powerful and devastatingly misdirected, unhealed collective shadows can be, right? We know what that's like. And that those shadows start within. And this knowledge makes us all more dedicated to our own personal and shared healing. So we get to the point of really working towards noticing, like, now that we're in this space, what are the actual issues that can no longer be postponed? So take a minute, and if you have a journal, you might want to write this down. But I want you to think about, what are the harmonic points in your life? What are the actual issues that you can no longer postpone? What is showing up for you to be healed now during this eclipse season, during this time of karmic revelation? Because if you can heal it now, you get to heal it for all space and time. And I'm talking a deep core healing here, right? So this partial eclipse of the Libra full moon, it ushers us into our first eclipse season. And that then goes into that total eclipse on April 8th. And eclipses they're symbolic of mystery and profound nature of attention and awareness, which both discloses and conceals facts of the world and can construct our reality in a way that can be either truth and reality and faithful to events, or it can be an utter illusion. And with the Libra full moon in this, perfect opposition to the Aries sun, because we just came into the spring equinox, right? The spring equinox, and into the time of Aries, which is the astrological new year, right? We see this miraculous nature of our powers of attention to conceal and reveal. Right? We have this concealing and this revealing. We have the two sides of everything coming together. And they're symbolized by this ecliptic dynamic between the conscious awareness of the sun and the unconscious awareness of the moon, right? The sun is eclipsing the moon. And so we have to pay attention to what is being eclipsed, what is paying attention. Like we're looking at right now the moon and our unconscious awareness. So we may know that we have these patterns or these things that are repeating, or these things that just keep showing up, but there's an unconscious experience going on underneath it that is keeping you stuck in those patterns. So I'm going to share what mine was, and how that balanced out with the karmic experience of my beautiful partner and what he had to delve into to understand and release, because I would say one thing and he would take it as another. We would have these experiences. And so my core wounding was I was unlovable, right? That I was not able to be loved in the way that I needed. And this core wound went all the way back. So in our in our birth charts, not our draconian charts, but in our actual birth charts, both Brad and I have our Saturns with a 90-degree square to our Venus, which means, for those of you who don't understand, which means that in some other lifetime in karmic, we created karma around our situations, because when the Saturn, which is the male, interluded with the Venus, the female, of love and relationship, like all this yummy stuff over here, that the Saturn rejected the Venus. And when that rejection happened, the Venus basically killed themselves. So in my Akashic reading records, what happened, we went back to a time of over 75 lifetimes ago where I was at that time the Venus, and Brad saw me, and and we were in this Egyptian time frame, and he wanted me and he came after me, but then he discarded me. And when that happened, I literally created a vow, not a soul contract, a vow that I would love him forever. Now, when you create a vow like that, it limits you to the experience that you can have in your lifetime of receiving love. And so my deep core wound was that I am unlovable. I can't receive love. And I'm going to vow to love someone forever, no matter what happens and how I'm treated or whatever. The crazy thing is in his chart, the exact same thing happened when I was in that position to him. So we had the same core wounding to each other that we have done to each other in different lifetimes that created this pattern for us that has showed up we've had thousands of lifetimes together, it seems. so many lifetimes. And so this karmic wound then showed up in my current life in this repeating harmonic pattern that got activated the first time him and I met 20 years ago, when I literally nearly tried to kill myself when he left me. And for those of you that don't know that story, when he left me 20 years ago, I became an international drug trafficker. And within 3 years, I was going to either die or go to prison. I was so sick. I fortunately was able to pull myself out of it and come into the experience so I could heal this karmic wound in this lifetime. But he had to be brought back into my life so that we could heal it. And the same so that he could heal his also. So pretty powerful stuff going on here. So if I'm sharing this because my story is what's going on in the energy of the universe right now in karmic relationships. Now, this could be really your relationship, and it's mainly about intimate relationships, family, intimacy, but it can also be a relationship to something within yourself, relationship to abundance or money, right? Any of those types of things. So really start to look at this experience and say, what is my harmonic point? So that created a harmonic point for me in my life over 20 years ago in 2002. And then I repeated that harmonic point. And at that point, when I had that harmonic point, that first one, well, I actually had another one before that in 2008, which was with my family. I lost love, my family, and everything, because I lost my parents and I moved in with my grandparents. And so again, that was like, I'm not loved and I lost my home. And then this time I'm not loved and I lost my home and I did the drug trafficking. And I repeated again in 2009 when my partner at that time and I broke up and I was evicted from my home and I lost my home and I lost everything. And so I actually repeated that harmonic point 4 times in my life. And I go through this whole experience about it and how returning to home to this experience has allowed me to come heal this. And I came back to heal this piece, but I didn't know all of those things. So I want you to really think about that for yourself. So the moon represents who we are before we even think about who we are. She represents our instinctual self, and she describes our deepest vulnerabilities as well as our most profound capacity to connect to others. So full moons amplify the energy and emotions, and this one is tickling at the edges of our awareness. It's really pulling at us. So these eclipses are times of revelation as well as burial of secrets and are reminiscent of the activity of our shadows. So we want to really start to dive in today and look at what do I need to heal karmically? And this is the time to do it from now and the next couple of weeks. It lasts till about 30 days. It started a couple of weeks ago and it lasts till about 30 days after the eclipse. But you really want to dive into this because to be in your highest destiny, because the Libra, this moon is also, this time is about highest destiny. It's about how do we live into our truth? How do we live into the experience of where we're going? And yet to be able to do that, you must release the shit that is holding you back, your harmonic points, your karma, the things that are holding you in. So what exactly does this eclipse bring to the table for us? It's, well, we'll start with the thing about Libra. Libra is about partnerships, right? It's also a sign that asks you to become grounded in all that is important to relationship with self. It's also about balance, right? Libra is the scales of balance. So one of the prime achievements of living in relationship with self is having trust in the decisions that you make. So Libra is an air sign, which relies often on logic to find understanding. But as we know, spirit is not always logical. It's often driven by intuition and desire. Therein enters this balancing act, right, of Libra to allow both logic and intuition to be your guide and to not be so much in your head that you don't experience joy. And then the eclipse of this Libra moon is about the internal events that happen as a result of your thoughts and feelings. And this lunar eclipse highlights what you are learning. So what are you learning right now? Right? So we have relationships, personal and global, and with ourselves. And Libra is also ruled by Venus, which Venus is the planet of love. There's also influences in, all areas of life that have to do with relationships, marital, business, political, partnerships, alliances, enemies of all type, even non-human relationships. All these things relate to like the law and the justice system, legislation, contracts, ceasefire orders, right? Issues of treaties, outbreaks of war. Like just look what's going on internationally and in the world right now. All of these types of things, gender issues, all political party oppositions are amplified. All of this stuff is coming to the forefront because it needs to be healed. Because in its healed energy, Libra is the peacemaker, the lover, the counselor, the just and fair diplomat, the ambassador, able to listen to all sides in a situation and bring forth the most harmonious perspective through diplomatic cooperation. So in my experience with what happened with my partner and I, we decided to have a diplomatic conversation after not having very much diplomatic experience at all. We had actually decided that we were going to end the relationship and part ways. And through doing that and having a diplomatic conversation, we were able to come back into harmony and realize where our wounds were that were holding us and work on healing them and reaching to our highest destiny timeline instead of instead of not doing the work to get to it, right? So, but in its unhealed energy, Libra is codependent, people pleasing, needy, indecisive, inauthentic, shallow, comparing, judgmental, gossipy. It really avoids speaking their truth in relationships in order to not rock the boat. So we want to look at these. And so with this south node that's in the sign of Libra, we can expect completion, karmic clearings to occur in many of our relationships around this time. So there will be a lot of death, right? The karma, the death and endings that will then be allowing for a rebirth, right? So with the beauty of is with every death, there is a rebirth. And so the death of our relationship, our old relationship has allowed us to rebirth something new, to allow us to create something new, right? So we want to really explain and look at that around this time of the eclipse. So what are you learning now? So this energy around the lunar eclipse is what are you learning now? And then when we fast forward in 2 weeks to the solar eclipse on April 8th, it is what are you going to teach? So you get the opportunity to learn, to heal, to work with these shadows. And then you get to have an expression of that other side of like, what are you going to teach? What are you going to share? Where are you going to be in the world, right? Working towards that highest destiny. The shadow is what we literally do not know to be true about ourselves, about the world, but which is in fact a reality. So sometimes these unwanted or seemingly unseen truths gnaw at the edges of our awareness, like a light wind that suddenly gusts, up through our hair and ripples over our skin. And it kind of says, I'm here. But like the wind, the truth is at once everywhere and yet nowhere to be seen. And so our looking must be preceded by a sensing. So what we're going to start with today, before we go into our healing, is we're going to just do a deep dive into ourselves to see what is that harmonic point? What is the thing that we need to heal? What is coming up in the patterns or the experiences that are ready for us to heal now? And allow ourselves to be in that experience. So I'm just going to put on some background music for about 5 minutes. I'm going to just give you a prompt. And then I want you to just take a moment, and whether it's on your computer, journal, something, and just write. I want you to write down what's coming up. Where are you seeing the repeating pattern in your life? Where are you seeing what is happening over and over again, right? Like allow yourself to see and know, because when you can have that come up, then we can call in our guides and our healers and the masters to clear that energy, that karmic pattern, and see what needs to die, what is ready. And I'll tell you, it is the scariest thing in the world to let something go. So when I was in Chile, and this is where this whole process started, when I was in Chile, I was doing my shamanic training recently, right before I went to Bali. And they asked, we had to sacrifice to make sacred. Sacrifice means to make sacred and to give up to something greater, to the highest good, to sacrifice something. And they want you to sacrifice the one thing that you're not willing to let go. Well, the only thing in my life that I was not willing to let go of was my relationship with Brad, because I had had 25 years of him being in my field and my energy, and had waited, had been wanting this experience for that whole time. And so I sacrificed that relationship. I laid it on the altar to make it sacred, to see what would happen. And then therefore my healing came in this karmic experience that we got to beautifully move through in the last few weeks. So just take a moment. I'm going to set you into space here. And I want you to just work on first, we're connecting into what is the pattern that you are repeating. So just take a moment to close your eyes. Breathing in through your heart and out through your heart. Just allowing now to start to feel a feeling of love or gratitude or appreciation for this process and this moment as you connect your heart and your brain together, breathing in and breathing out. And just allowing the parts of you that know how to just think of a challenge or an experience in your life that you now want to heal. You just start to float above this moment. And just looking at the timeline that is your life and asking your highest self and your soul and your unconscious mind to just take you to the first moment of the first event that first created this thought or this challenge or this experience in your life. And just float back now into the past and just right above this very event. And just notice, how old are you? Who are you with? What are you doing? No judgment here for yourself or any of the others. Just a noticing of what can happen when we have a karmic tie or a harmonic point that shows up in our life that we then take at to be true and we keep repeating over and over. Now just allowing that other version of you to just come up onto this beautiful magic carpet with you as you look down there at that event. What was this other version of you? This younger you, this other version. What were they believing about themselves that allowed them to have this experience? What was the meaning they were making about themselves? Am I unloved? But I want to be abandoned or rejected? Am I inadequate? Am I not good enough? Am I too much? Just notice how this theme is repeated over and over in your life. You just take the loving hand of that younger one. What did they need to know? What would they have needed to know to create an experience? I'm just thinking about this and how this might be a harmonic point or a repeated pattern in your life. Just want you to take a few minutes to just write down what comes up for you. Words, emotions, feelings. Maybe you start to recognize the patterns. It took me years to recognize my patterns and see them step by step. Really helped me when I read the book to figure it out. Just write down what is your harmonic point. Now, think about what have you been avoiding? What have you been avoiding? Taking this process only through harmonic points in this lifetime, but I do offer a experience where we can go back into other lifetimes and past lifetimes to find the root of the karmic experience that you might need to work on. Because I had cleared all this stuff in this lifetime and still I had this thing. Now, how does that relate to the relationships in your life? What do you need to let go of? What needs to die so that it can be reborn again, either completely new or in a new form? What needs to die within yourself? A belief, an experience? What are the internal wars that are going on that you need to bring into balance? What are the projections that you're creating or putting on others because of the war within yourself? What is keeping you from your highest destiny? Now, what is a new experience, belief, situation that you want to have? What are you moving towards? What are you learning that you're going to be able to share and teach at a later time? All of our lessons, everything we learn, we end up teaching in some sort of way or other when we heal them. So coming back to this space and this time now, whatever you have either in your mind or written down, I'd love to hear in the chat anything that you might have noticed coming up for you. And I'd love to know with a number 1, 2, or 3. So 1 being your biggest challenges around relationships, right? Whether it's relationship with self or relationship with others, or is it 2 around health or some sort of body experience or something going on, or 3 around finances or business or career? Like, where is your biggest experience happening for you right now? Where is your harmonic point showing up to be healed? One, relationships. Two, what did I say? Physical body, health. Three, finances. Relationship with self. Yeah. One is really any type of relationship, whether with self or with others. Yeah. And anytime a relationship with an other, right, whether it's an intimate relationship or family relationship, it is still about relationship with self. Because in the end, the karmic experience that I had to heal was, even though it was showing up in relationship with someone else, I had to heal my relationship with self, and he has to heal his relationship with self, right? The beauty of it was that I was able to come from a place of love and compassion and openness and healing to be able to have conscious conversation instead of old systems of reacting that, you know, have permeated that sticky unlovable piece of me. And it's funny because I teach love, right? That my whole world is about love and the experience of love. In all of these types of ways. And it's like this deepness of these things going on for me. It was like that last core piece, but I was able to come into a place of just absolute peace and love around everything, and know that no matter what happened, it was exactly what was right for my highest destiny. And instead of controlling and asking and saying, I have to hold on to this thing, what I did is stepped into the asking of what is the greatest expression for my highest destiny and my soul in this lifetime. Whatever that is what I want. I've never been able to, in relationships in the past, have been able to let go that much that I could say, whatever the answer is, I just want it to be whatever's for my highest self, for my soul. And that means if I have to let go of what has been the most important thing to me, then that's what I will do if it doesn't serve my highest good and my highest soul and my purpose in this world. Right. Lots of ones, threes. Yeah. So as we move into this experience of like the shadow and looking at these things, and then now moving them into the movement into the solar eclipse, we get to see what is then brought to the forefront, what is in the light. In the next 2 weeks, the energy, so when they talk about the energy of the solar eclipse or the eclipses, is that this is like it's an energy release of the dark forces. So it's the energy release of all of the things, like, so everyone's shadows are coming up, everyone's karmic shit is coming out, all of us are having things, and it's bringing out the underbelly of the shadows in the world so that it can be released out. But in that time, there's a huge warning to, really pay attention, because you don't have to be a karmic player in somebody else's thing. You don't have to take somebody else's shit. You don't have to be a part of that, but we have to really protect ourselves during this time, because you could just be out in the world and somebody's going through their stuff and it can affect you. If you're traveling during this time, if you're going to somewhere in the world where in the world is here in the US where the solar eclipse is, just be really mindful, because there's a lot of dark, shadowy energy that's going on. And the shadow is the opposite of the light. We need both. It is not right or wrong or good or bad. We need these experiences to reach our highest destiny and our highest destiny timeline. And for those of you that know, like, doing that timeline work is so powerful. But if you walk in and step into your highest destiny timeline, like I have, I've done several timeline shifts over the last few years, and I just had another pretty incredible, powerful shift in Bali. But the more you shift in and get more toned in and highlighted to that timeline shift, the more your stuff that's keeping you from staying in that alignment is going to show up. And that's the harmonic point that keeps spiraling back at you, that you have to look at and say, okay, I'm here again. What do I have to do differently? What do I need to heal? What do I need to have this not show up again? Because how many of you would really love to heal something for the final time and not have it show up again? Right? I would. I did. I was like, I'm done. I am done with this. I am done with this. What, I've been holding this one for 5,000 years. I'm good. Let's be done. Right? And that's where we want to be. We want to be, let's be done with this. So I wanted to share that with you. And so we're going to, and after we do this second healing, we're going to do some heart coherence and bring this together. And I want you to just see and feel. We're going to take you into a healed whole place. And then after that, I'm going to share with you what's happening next, what's going to go on. Okay, so let's just come now into a space where we're just going to do some pulling in of that divine energy into the body to really allow you to align yourself to something new, to start to push out that karmic load, those harmonic points, that energy out from behind you. Oh, I did wrong. So coming in now, breathing in through the heart, breathing out through the heart. And then just as you're breathing in and breathing out, allowing a beautiful silver cord to just drop from the center of your heart all the way down your spine, through your root chakra, and all the way down into Mother Earth, into Mother Gaia, all the way into your Earth Star chakra, grounding you into Mother Earth, letting a beautiful golden roots come out of your feet and into the ground, allowing this golden energy to pour in as you plant and root yourself into the here and now. And then those roots pull up the sap and the energy of Mother Gaia, the nutrients, the golds, the coppers, the oranges and the greens, pulling in those nutrients, pulling in that earth and energy, allowing for that grounded state to be pulled up through your body, all the way into the center of your heart. Feeling that energy as it starts to pulsate, where you feel the loving embrace of Mother Gaia, that earth energy, the power of the root chakra, grounding you in, breathing that energy all the way up into the center of your heart. And when you breathe out, I want you to shoot a silver cord all the way up through your throat chakra and your third eye and your crown, all the way up through your soul star chakra and up into the highest point of light in the God field that you can find. Connecting you into the cosmos as your tree starts to grow in electric blue light, allowing that tree and the branches to grow up and out, and connecting you into the cosmos, into that field of divine light and energy, opening that central channel so that you allow this moonlit, pearlescent, rainbow sparkling energy of divine light and healing to pour into your body, through your crown and into the center of your heart. Allowing this energy to pour in, feeling the unconditional love. And it starts to commingle in your heart, creating a beautiful yin yang symbol, as above, so below. Connecting the physical and the eternal together within you, the vessel. And as these two energies merge, they start to create a field of toric energy around you that starts to permeate, that starts to clear your karmic bonds, your karmic wounds, your harmonic points, allowing your body to heal and move, shifting these old energies, filling yourself with the energy of Mother Gaia and the divine love of the eternal pure love. Feel it in your body. I champion your growth always. I know when hard edges are to be softened and when it is time for you to receive your reward for efforts made. It is time to release a karmic pattern so that you can now be reborn in new consciousness. Allow me to help you to heal your life from the inside, that the outside might change and reflect your inner beauty and spiritual light. I am bringing you assistance now as Mother Mary starts to pour in her beautiful divine energy and seeing the wings of Isis here with us. That a force beyond your control may be softened and your successful growth assured. Your life story spans further than you may imagine. You may believe that your past or your anxiety or your hope about the future is what matters most in your unfolding life story, but this is not the case. The divine sees it with vision far broader than our own. She has insights beyond the veils of time and space. She understands that there are invisible karmic forces at work in our lives, building circumstances that are both challenging and uplifting. Karma is not a punishment, but a chance to learn and grow, whether that be through challenge or opportunity. You are here in a time for rebirth, time when there is karmic heaviness around you. It's not a bad situation. It's not punishment, but the more advanced the soul, the more challenge it is capable of taking on. Don't ever imagine that your struggles indicate that there's something wrong or with you or life. This is an important karmic time for you, and it heralds not only the assistance of the divine in working through challenging karma, but also the blessing bestowed through supportive and uplifting karmic inheritance. This is your time, you see, not only to learn, but also to earn the reward of past efforts. To perceive that you are standing at the edge of a vast, powerful ocean, with water lapping at your feet on the shoreline. You gaze at the horizon, watching a stunning sunrise take place, or sunset, whatever feels right for you. And out of that sun emerges, maybe it's Mother Mary, maybe it's Isis, maybe it's one of your other guides or angels. They emerge in flowing robes of gold. They pour golden light from the sun behind them, coming through her heart and hands and into the top of your head. Starts to pour in tingling waves. Start to feel this energy, these golden waves from the sun, and this energy healing pouring through your system, over your body, washing through you until it goes all the way out down through your feet and flowing into the ocean, filling it with golden light. Call upon your angels and your guides or any specific guide that you have to bring in karmic healing for you, healing of your harmonic points, so that you can swim in the ocean of your highest destiny. Come back to a place where you know that this process has started. And sometimes when you ask for a healing, shit gets worse before it gets better. When we walk on this path, when we ask for peace, we don't get peace, we get chaos so that we can find peace. When we ask for a healing, you might have the things that need to be healed start to show up. But now you'll have a way to understand and to work through them. So allow yourself to finish this healing process by stepping and walking and wading into that golden ocean, allowing that energy to lap up over you, pouring down, feeling yourself in this infinite consciousness of love and healing and floating. Pure, unconditional love. Starting to rub your hands together. Putting them over your eyes. You can move your body, bring your body back into the space and this time. Allow yourself to feel that energy. I'd love to hear what you noticed or felt or what's showing up for you. And as you do, I'm just going to share with you the next step. What's going on? What's happening? I have two different things, two wonderful different things that you might be interested in around this time. First, there are some processes that you can do that are going to really help you in the next few weeks, right? Sound, mantras, frequency are all really good things to support you during the eclipse. Earthing, get out, put your feet in the ground, use a PEMF mat, whatever you need, right? Embody the energy of any of the planets that might be affected in your chart. Really allow yourself to sit in this. It is now a time to purge and clear and clean out, make space, have the difficult conversations. During this time, it's a really good time to, really keep yourself in high vibe by keep eating high vibrational foods. Burn, like anything that you wrote down, that karmic stuff, you can burn it, right? Get rid of it. Physical burning is a really powerful practice, with that, but go gentle, during this time, because anything that you're purging, the effects are going to be heightened. They're going to be like, there's a lot going on here, right? And so you want to really pay attention to those things, and so you can really notice that for yourself. Awesome. So releasing negative energy, that's what I felt, feeling the blessing coming onto my energy. Oh, I love that. Beautiful. So I wanted to share with you, we have next week, starting on April 2nd, the Sacred Soul Mystery School opens. We will be having our first class. I'm super excited. We have an amazing group of people already signed up. It is a 3-month intensive program going into the lineage of the Essenes, Venus, Isis, Mother Mary, and the principles of sound, sacred geometry, healing traumas, your chakras, the mantras that go with it. It's a really deep practice into opening up your psychic abilities and really understanding how to heal your karmic points, how to explore the things like, confronting and transforming, our turmoil into wisdom, learning alchemical processes of turning our inner darkness into light, how to literally create and work with our DNA to make it a light receptor. And for those of you that follow my DNA work, you'll understand what that means. And if not, we're combining quantum physics and DNA and neuroscience with these ancient wisdom traditions and the galactic wisdom of the alignment with universal truths of the interconnectedness of all life. So we're working on higher states of consciousness and how to really get in that. So we're exploring Vedic wisdom, mystical practices, how the hermetics, but also practical skills in sacred geometry and meditation and energy healing and higher states of consciousness, along with unlocking your spiritual potential within your DNA, how to access your light codes and your quantum codes. You'll be learning yoga that is specific for this type of work. So not yoga sequences, but specific movements that will put your body into sacred geometry, and learn psychic development and how to do energy mastery and also timeline work. How do we really step into our highest timelines? And so, and working on these things. So my goal is for those that are coming into the initiation of the mystery school, as an initiate, is to have a real deep understanding of your spiritual nature in the universe, to overcome personal challenges and trauma with these practices that we're doing, to achieve an elevated state of awareness and enlightenment so you can live your soul's purpose, right? That's that sacred purpose that you're meant to be here for, that is being held back from the things that you want to do. Because I know if you're not already starting to live it or in the work of living it, and you which many of you I believe are, it's like, how do I do that even more? How do I step into that alignment even more? How do I make it abundant for me? How do I make money at it? And if you're not living in that yet, how do I find my way into living into the truth of what I want to do? Right. We're also going to connect with the ancient spiritual lineages that we are working with. And it's going to be working with these lineages that go through the Magdalens and the Essenes and Isis and Hathor and the Venus star seeds. So it is my, I'm so excited about it. We got a great group already showing up for it, because we're capping it at 20 people this year, and I think we have 16 already, so I like 4 spots left. It's for this round, I'm only doing it by interview because I actually want to know the energy of the people, because we're keeping it as a small group and I want to work personally with everyone in that. So if that is something that you are interested in, I'm chatting with people to the end of this week so that we can finish filling those spots. I would love to see, anyone that is in that. So if something that you're interested in or want to know more about, just put a 1 in the chat so I have an idea who's interested, and I'm going to find the link for you. And then the other thing that I have that I decided to do that I wasn't going to do because of what I just went through with all my karmic stuff and the healing that I wanted to do, I'm offering 5 one-to-one personal sessions with me. So in that, I'm giving a 50% discount. I have 5, I'm only going to do 5 of them. That's all I can, that I'm going to have the ability for. But it's called a soul print intuitive session and energy tune-up. So we'll go in and work on your karmic pattern. We'll go find out where the stuff is in the past. We'll see what your print is on your soul, what's happening with that, how to clear it. And we can work directly and privately together to really create a powerful healing for you so that you can transform this into something really powerful. So if you're interested in that, so here's the first, let's see, where's a lot of energies moving, beautiful, count me in. Okay, so here, I'm going to send 2 links for you guys, for those that are interested. The first one here is if you want to schedule a talk with me about the mystery school. That is, if you're interested and you want to join the mystery school, we have 4 spots, I think, still available. That's going to round it out at our 20, and we start on Tuesday. We have in the mystery school, we have new moon and full moon ceremonies every month. We have weekly deep healings and transformation together. We also have a 2-day live event over the summer solstice that's part of that. There's a lot. It's a really robust. It's got there's going to be not only live calls and healings and meditations, but also you're getting into a membership site where you're going to have things that you're going to be able to learn and work with these energies and learn the sacred geometry and all of these other things together. Oh, I didn't and do those things together. So that is that's a little bit about the mystery school. The reason I don't have a landing page for it, I'm doing any of that stuff because I'm just very specific, going to do 20 people in this group, and it's almost already full. So and then here is the link for the one-to-one soul print session. Again, I have 5 of these available, and when you register, I will send you a link to schedule into my calendar. I gotta wait for it to come. If you have any questions or anything that you want to know, you can put it in the chat right now and I can answer those while I'm waiting on this for you. I really am grateful that each and every one of you showed up today. I know it was quick and I only announced it this morning, so wasn't sure how many people would come or not come. What is going on? Why isn't this going? Well, something's going on. Why? Let's see. Okay, thank you. Cannot see. Yeah, I haven't put the second link in there yet. I'm waiting for my computer to load. I should have had it ready for you previously and it wasn't, and now it's just taking forever. So I just wanted to okay, bye Ingrid. I'm so glad that everyone came. I'm not really sure why it's not working. Well, maybe the universe is like, don't give out any at all. I don't know why it's not opening. I'll try one more time. And if it doesn't work, then I'll just have to send it out in an email whenever it does work. Or if you are interested, at which I haven't gotten the, oh wait, hold on there. That might work. You can put your email in the chat box and I can also email it to you directly. So if I know who it is, that might work because for some reason, I'm not getting anything to show up right now. Something's going on with my computer. Thank you, Amy. I love you guys. Yeah, it's not working. If you want to leave your email in the thing and or wait for, okay, I've got the or wait for the email also that I'm going to send out. I will happily do that because I cannot get the other link to show up right now for whatever reason. So again, we have 4 spots left for the Sacred Soul Mystery School, and I'm super excited to share that with you. And I will send you an email with the spots for the other. So thank you all so much for joining me today. All right. Bye, everyone.